Audible lets you enjoy all your audio entertainment in one app.
That is the truth. Audible offers an incredible selection of audiobooks across every genre.
As an Audible member, you can choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog, including the latest bestsellers and new releases. I just finished the audio title Lightbringer, which is the 6th in a series, and I just love it. It's so detailed, and being able to listen to it really, really helps me keep up with what's going on.
Try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/crappens or text crappens to 500-500. That's audible.com/crappens or text crappens to 500-500.
And here's your prescription.
I know just the pharmacy to get this filled.
Who are you?
A pharmacy benefit manager. A middleman your insurer uses to decide which medicines you can get, what you pay, and sometimes even which pharmacy you should go to.
Why can't I go to a pharmacy in my neighborhood?
Because I make more money when you go to a pharmacy I own.
No one should stand between you and your medicine. Visit phrma.org/middleman to learn more. Paid for by Pharma.
Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens?
Well, hello. Welcome to Watch What Crappens. I'm Ronnie, and guess who I'm with? It's Ben. Ben came home.
Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Good. I missed you. I'm so glad you're okay, babe.
Thank you so much for covering for me while I was out, and thank you to everyone who sent me so many kind messages. Excuse me. I'm not joked up. I just have saliva literally in my chest right now, making me sound like I'm very choked up. Paralyzed. I had appendicitis last week that came on out of nowhere, which I guess is how it always happens. So I spent really the second half of last week in a hospital. So thank you to everyone who sent me a message and reached out. I'm doing great. And I just have to not pick up anything for 6 weeks, and I think we'll be all good. So
well, hey,
thank
you
you.
Got that covered. So that's
I can be even lazier.
I think both of us are kind of the king of not ever picking anything up ever. So
yeah,
you've got that medical advice down. Listen, it was really hard without you. I'd also like to thank all the people who didn't send me a message. You know, what the fuck? Like, I know that Ben was going through things. What do you think I'm going through? Okay. How about one more of you says, what are you doing here with that Ben Rinda? I couldn't even go to the fucking Home Goods. I'm not even lying. A lady came up to me at Home Goods and was like, is Ben okay? How dare you? How dare you? This is my one time to be recognized at a Home Goods. Okay? No, I'm just kidding, Ben. I missed you.
I missed you too. And, first of all, I think my surgeon's wife may listen to the podcast, which is very cool. So hi there, wife of Dr. Bronstein. And if not, then I just said hi to someone who doesn't listen, which is not very strange in my life. But also I was really happy because the whole reason why I came east is because my boyfriend Dominique, he choreographed a new musical version of The Great Gatsby, and they had the premiere last night, and I was so worried that because of the appendicitis I was not going to be able to go to the premiere, and luckily I was able to go. And the reason why I mention this is because if it ever goes to Broadway, everyone should just get your tickets because it is so good. I was like imagining you, Ronnie, watching it and you like listening to the ballads and just like sobbing. It was so good. So I just have to give a big shout out to The Great Gatsby as well.
Yeah, the great Domsby. Congratulations, Dominique.
He did such an amazing job with the choreography, and one of the cast members, Sarah, is also a Crappens listener. So it's so cool to find everyone. Sarah played Myrtle, by the way, which is very important. But it's just cool to see Crappens listeners, in all sorts of random places. It's so cool. But I just wanted to give a giant shout out to that show and to everything, and I hope everyone goes sees it. Yeah.
Yes, that's great. A couple more little shout outs to start. Thank you to Ryan Bailey who came and filled in. We did a bonus episode that's available to the public, but we did a bonus episode just catching up because I am obsessed with that guy. He actually talked me into going to BravoCon. I'm going, suckers.
Ronnie is going.
I'm going. Ben can't go because he already had made plans that
I made
week
other
when we made a
plans.
blood pact to not go without each other. And guess what? I'm violating the blood pact. So
It's
I'm bored.
okay.
I'm a bored person, so I'm going.
I also don't know if it's like the smartest thing for me, like a week out of an appendectomy, to like throw myself into Las Vegas and the madness that happens there. So I think it's okay. I'll see everyone next year.
Well, I don't know if it's wise for me to put either of us in that situation, because that is going to be a lot of Bravo people with fists really close that can punch us at any moment. So looking forward to that. But yeah, thanks to Ryan. Also, my friend, speaking of Ryan, my friend, our friend of the pod, Rebecca Lieb, who hosts Ghost Town podcast. She co-hosts that with Jason. That's a spooky podcast. And it's October. They're doing a 3-part episode on the Chateau Marmont and all the darkness that has gone on there. So that's a 3-part. They have Ali Luber coming on to that one. So go listen to Ghost Town and check that out. We love you, Ghost Town. Hope you're great over there. And today, I wrote 3 main notes down for Real Housewives of New York, their first reunion. So congrats, ladies, on getting your first reunion down. Here are my notes. Poor Aaron, poor Aaron, poor Aaron. Wow, really felt for Aaron. Aaron is quite a victim of this Real Housewives of New York reunion.
Poor Erin, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Seriously, amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Really?
Go, Joseph. Seriously? I'll just come out and say it. This sucked. This first episode sucked. I'm sorry. I'm saying it. I am living in my truth right now. I'm not afraid to say it. I know people, I'm just starting it like this. I don't care. I don't want this to be a podcast where people who love a show come here and then then we shit on it. But guess what? I'm doing that, and I'm okay with that, because I'm just going to say I had my appendix out, and therefore I also lost the part of me that gives a shit about people getting upset at me that I don't like Real Housewives of New York. Because here's the thing. Here's why I'm angry. All season long, people are like, no, it's really good. It's really good. You should watch it. It's like, Ben, get over the fact that it's not like Luann or Ramona. Give it its own shot. This is just different. It's a new thing. Get over it. And I'm like, look, I just don't think it's that good. And then it starts to get like, okay, like an Anguilla starts to get okay. It starts to come together. And I make this whole proclamation on the bonus episode about how I'm coming out of the closet saying I officially don't really like this season, except for really Jessel. And then the show starts to improve. And then I feel like, shoot, now of course the show starts to get better. And guess what? Then here comes this reunion, and it's like, no, we suck. And I'm like, aha, I knew it. I knew it all along, except for Jessel.
Well, they really do lean into just crying all the time, and I get it. And they do have reasons, right? I mean, they have legit reasons. So it's not like any of it. I didn't watch any of it thinking, oh God, you're crying about this again. But at one point I did text Ben and say, there's literally 5 people crying about their moms right now on stage. Like 5 people crying about that. Now, is the pain real? Of course it's real. They all have like horrible things happen to them. But I don't know. It's one of those segments where I'm like, wow, this is supposed to be fun. At some point,
Yeah.
I mean, I get crying a little, and then there's other things, but I didn't hate it. There's a lot of it that I'm just not into, but I didn't dislike it as much as you. I do see some promise here. Uba keeps kind of promising things, but she's
and then not
promising not that much, and then she's making promises you don't want to hear. It's like if you ever want to hear promises from your boyfriend, and then they're like, I promise to eat a Big Mac every other week. And you're like, but that's not the promise I was looking for. You know what I mean? And by that, I mean like yelling at Jenna about, or not yelling at her, but getting pissed off at Jenna about something weird that nobody really cares about and then she doesn't follow up on it. And
then she's like, oh no, I just meant that like, you should be stronger. And you're like, well, Uba,
that's not what you meant.
That's not what you meant. Yeah, Uba is like, Look, I don't have to like trot out all the things. I've done it so many times this season. It really is disrespectful, I do think, to the people who do enjoy the show. And I actually am genuinely happy for the people who enjoy it because I'm like jealous. I'm jealous that you guys are enjoying it as much as you do. I just think that Bravo and production tried too hard to make this about a group of people you want to be friends with, and that's not what the Housewives is about. Like they tried to be like, look at this like great group of women who are just like they're just like amazing, and they're just like sexually liberated, and they just do amazing things all the time, but they're real and they're relatable because they have all these issues. And I'm like, that's fine. It's just not what I'm signed up for. I want campy bullshit. I want whatever's going on in Salt Lake City. I want more of that in my New York City. And don't tell me that they're two different things because the principles of a good show are still the principles of a good show.
And principles of Housewives are still principles of Housewives. You know what I mean? It's going to be different flavor for every city, every different group of people that you get, but it should still be fun.
Yeah.
I require a lot less, you know? Like just make it fun. And you know what? It started out where it looked like it was about, first of all, you can't have Aaron leading a fucking cast and expect it to be fun. Okay. Now there's where I'm going to never stop hounding. I can't with this person. But, you know, it opened with the promise of fun because we see Uba's. The first thing we see is Sai. It's reunion day. And I was like, oh, God, they open with Sai. But then we see an Uba text message flash on the screen. And it says, I'd like to kindly request that you refrain from intervening during my conversation with Karen tomorrow.
Spelled Kerin, as the internet calls Aaron, you know? So we're like, ooh, Uba's angry. Uba's finally like, you know what? I'm here to make a show. We're gonna do something. This is gonna be a salty reunion. Everyone, buckle up. RHONY has finally arrived.
But also, Uba, that's her group text. We find out this is her group text to everybody in the cast. You can't warn them what's coming. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need a warning. You need to show up and blindside somebody. You don't give somebody a warning like, here's what I'm coming after you with tomorrow. I'm gonna call you Karen. No, save it.
And then Jenna's text is, sorry, who is Karen? I'm like, Jenna, stop apologizing while you're engaging in a text fight.
Sorry, but is that someone on the show? I'm not sure. Have I met Karen? I'm so sorry, Karen. Did I meet a Karen? Is there a Karen on the? I'm so sorry.
And then Aaron responds by saying, I will not be slandered by you. I have done nothing wrong. I've done nothing to you, which, by the way, honestly, you know that Aaron has written that to so many people in her life. Like, it's not just Uba. It's like, it's Postmates. It's like her brother. It's like anyone. She has had to say this to many, many people.
I will not be slandered. Your DoorDash is 10 minutes away. I will not be slandered by you.
So then Uba responds by saying, Karen, you better pray to your God tomorrow or you come correct.
So Brent, I don't know. So Brent
it's like,
enters.
It seems like there's going to be a fight. It's exciting.
Yeah, it seems like there's going to be a big fight. I'm still not really sure what Karen did, but I can't wait to find out at this point.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm actually excited. I was like, wow, they pulled it off. So then Bryn comes in and she's like, oh, man, did you notice that Uba's not here? She's going to do hair and makeup at home. Which is where I'm going to do any man I find hot because I am a sexy lady. All right, calm down. It's like 6 a.m. Can we just get our hair done?
It's also 9 in my vagina. Yeah, get in there.
So she's like,
do you think that she's like regretting all the mean texts? Like the shit that we dealt with on the group text all week long? It was like hot tub time machine from hell ×2 via text. That makes no sense, but I thought I'd just throw some things together that sounded kind of cool.
And Aaron, the great repeater, goes, hot tub time machine from hell is exactly what it was.
I don't get why. Wait, what? Wait, so did you guys travel to a prehistoric period where you almost were trampled by like a mastodon? What happened? Why was the hot tub time machine?
I don't know. And I didn't see hot tub time machine, but I was like, wow, amazing that they brought up a movie that I have no interest in seeing as their reference. Because I was like, yeah, I don't want to see that here. I don't know what they're referencing and I don't want to see it.
So now Uba comes in, and Bryn is like, she's like lost her shit this week. So they're teeing up that Uba is gonna be on a rampage, and that they're like this nice group of like gals of like girl bosses that we've seen all season. Now like the cracks have appeared. They've seen how like, you know, there have been a lot of people like me, by the way. I'm not the only one. Okay, I'm not the only
Hey,
one.
you don't need to apologize. Listen, there is
No. But I'm
apology.
saying that like there are a lot of people who also think it's mediocre, and I feel like they've read this and they're like, okay, we're gonna show them that we have a spot here on Bravo. We're gonna come in here. We're gonna have a reunion.
And Andy's real excited. He's with Uba, and he's like, "Hey, Uba, you're pretty upset. Guess what we do at reunions? We're gonna work through it." So he's like, you know, champing at the bit, which I learned from Ben here on Watch What Crappens.
Both are
He's like,
acceptable.
he's getting all excited about it, and then Bryn goes, it's not gonna turn into Fight Club, is it? It's like another movie reference. What are you? Fight Club and Hot Tub Time Machine.
She's like, I'm gonna be a gone girl. Yeah, I'm in a Fincher sort of place right now.
That's a real Sophie's choice, am I right?
That's probably too classy, that movie.
I know that was a little.
You know what? It's gonna be like me versus the volcano. No wonder why you
I
don't
hope
film
she
with
doesn't
me.
go all 7 on us.
You know, the only reason why you never saw my house all season is because it's a real money pit.
Wow, now that was a film. You know, that was when Shelley Long left Cheers, and she's like, I'm going to be a movie star now. And then she did like Money Pit with Tom Hanks. I was
Yeah.
the only one who was like, wow, that was a great move that you made. Because Money Pit, you're going to be a movie star forever.
You know, Shelley Long, her movie career was not that bad. I mean, Outrageous Fortune. She was in a movie with Bette Midler, so already that's a good move.
That was a great
She was,
one.
yeah, and she
Beverly
was in
Hills Cookies or what? Beverly Hills Girl
Troop
Scout.
Beverly Hills.
Troop Beverly Hills, yeah.
And then there's Hello Again, which is not a great movie, but Celia Ward is in it, so that matters.
Mm-hmm.
And
She got the seal of approval.
I'm not going to ward her off. Can we get Celia Ward for the Crappies this year? Last year was Linda Cardellini.
Yeah, let's try Celia Ward. You know, last year we tried Leah Thompson. She ditched us. Just unfollowed her on Instagram, by the way. Sorry for both of us there. And
we tried for Christina Applegate and for Linda Cardellini. I don't know. We just like
Can't bring
attacked.
me to Christina Applegate's going through a lot. However,
No, I have no.
Cardellini's not, so fuck her.
No,
Right?
Christina Applegate's representative got back to us and was so nice. It was totally great. It was totally cool.
Oh, thank you, Christina Applegate. Hope you're doing
Yeah.
well. Linda Cardellini, not in the same boat. You're not in the same.
Linda
She's doing
Cardellini,
very
on the
well,
other hand. Just want to say.
JK, everybody. Okay, so let's get back to this because really this needs to be 5 minutes long. Okay, let's wrap it up.
Sorry that we're providing content that's infinitely more entertaining than the actual reunion itself.
Listen, there
Is it?
comes a
Actually, I
time
shouldn't
where
say
you
that.
need to bring out your Celia Ward content. And this is that day.
So, lightning bolt. Okay, so
My
Bryn.
dear sister, Celia Ward Sisters. I love that show.
Pavitt, we have to get our children into a private school that Celia Ward went to.
Just to rub shoulders with anyone related to Celia, am I right?
I love her mattresses.
Oh, that's silly. By the way, did you see Pavitt he came out with his review of the Banh Mi? He did like a travelogue, and it was so like serious and awkward, but he had like little shade in there too. It was, I don't know, I just loved the whole thing. It was great.
Yeah, he had like a who doesn't like cheese, am I right?
Yes,
It
that
was
his
weird
big
when
diss.
he did the video coming back and he was sitting next to a sex worker. I was like, wait.
Okay, so then the rest of this intro is just like previews of what's going to come. So let's just like fast forward to the start of the reunion with Andy Cohen be like,
Hey everyone, tonight I'm joined by a fresh group of powerful, intelligent, dynamic women who I can say with confidence have no idea what's in store for them today, especially Jenna Lyons, who is besmirching my sofa with jeans. Wow, Jenna Lyons, I'm gonna pretend like I'm not insulted, but
I'm a little pissed.
Oh, also, I've never heard Andy introduce anybody like that. Like, what the fuck kind of intro is that?
Amazing, dynamic, intelligent women.
Like, when no one else has had that kind of an intro. Usually he's like,
Welcome to a bunch of rubber-faced yokels we plucked out of obscurity just to piss people off for ratings.
Well, I mean, to be fair, are you going to like sit down with the likes of like Teresa Giudice and Melissa Gorga and say, welcome to some intelligent and dynamic women?
I think
This is the first time he really has a chance to say it.
I think this was the pitch for New York City. We're going to redo New York, but the reboot, we're going to feature intelligent, dynamic women. Pass. I would this is when I need to be a network executive, just so I could say pass, okay? You know where I love intelligent, dynamic people? In my life, okay? Not on my television.
Not on my television.
So
hello, ladies. Hi, Aaron. Did your dad give you any advice for tonight? I'm like, well, that just shows how bland Aaron is. That like Andy had to make some bizarre like deep cut to a random moment about her dad, and she's like, yes, Andy, he did. He said, be strong. Okay, cool. Well, hold on a second. I'm getting
you. Actually, I was just publicly mocking you for calling your daddy after you got in a fight with somebody on national TV. But okay, take it like it's serious.
Hey, if everyone's really quiet right now, we can hear Bethany Frankel making a TikTok about how you just stole her phrase, be strong.
You know what? I talked to Aaron Lishy's father. Let me tell you, that guy needs protection. All right? That guy
Let me
needs
tell you
protection.
something. Let me tell you something. She steals my tagline. I don't care. I don't give a shit if she steals my tagline, but it just shows once the reality carousel starts going, you can't get off. You can't get off. You start saying things, you start stealing things. That's what I'm saying. We gotta get reformation, okay?
Reality reckoning, trademarking taglines. Okay? That's what I'm going for. It's going to be huge.
Hey, okay, Jenna Lyons, I have to tell you, in hundreds of reunions, never seen jeans. How do you feel not wearing a semi-mesh Galia Lahav sort of thing that has white paisley over your boobs?
How does it feel like not dressing like an ice skater in hell?
How's it feel dressing like the audience right now? Jeans.
And she's like, well, I jeans. I like jeans. So okay, thanks. It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
Watch What Crappens and Winter is Crappening are the funniest recap podcasts. But if you want something more eerie, try the new podcast Ghost Story, about my investigation into a murder-suicide in my own family. Ghosts aren't real. At least that's what I've always believed. Sure, odd things happened in my childhood bedroom, but ultimately, I shrugged it all off. That is, until a couple of years ago when I discovered that every subsequent occupant of that house is convinced they've experienced something inexplicable too, including the most recent inhabitant who says she was visited at night by the ghost of a faceless woman. It just so happens that the alleged ghost haunting my childhood room might just be my wife's great-grandmother, who was murdered in the house next door by 2 gunshots to the face. Ghost Story, a podcast about family secrets, overwhelming coincidence, and the things that come back to haunt us. Follow Ghost Story on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
So also one thing we didn't mention when we were skipping everything earlier is when Andy's talking to Uba in her dressing room, he's like, what's going on with Jenna? Because she's like, I'm going to get Jenna. He's like, why? And he goes, what's the difference between TV Jenna and real Jenna? And she's like, TV Jenna is poor me victim. And the real Jenna, she's some powerhouse, but she's, I was like, okay, I'm interested to see that play out.
All right. Interesting.
So then when we
tease.
get to Jenna, she's like, yep, I'm in jeans.
Faker!
I love that Jenna wore jeans. I love that she's just like, fuck this entire process. I'm wearing jeans. I know my look, and I don't care what the memo says. This is what I'm wearing.
I mean, I get that I'm not really a fashion gay, but I do think it's kind of contributing to the downfall of Housewives. If you're just like, I don't have to I don't have to. I can do whatever I want. No, you don't show up in fucking jeans. This is Real Housewives, but on ball gown. I know you're different. I know you're like wacky and crazy different.
Ball gown.
You need to look insane, okay? This is a Housewives television show. You don't have to wear jeans. And also she's, well, I mean, I'm not saying pants. Like wear some, I don't know, make an effort, dude. Fucking jeans. And didn't she wear this in her opening, or she wore this same outfit somewhere else? I've already seen the outfit. I don't know.
I was happy with
I'm
it,
supposed to
personally.
love my casual queen. I don't love it.
I'm oddly enough a Jenna Lyons apologist, so take it for what it is. So, meaning my opinion. So then here comes Sai. So it's like,
Hi, Sai, you look incredible. Let's address the elephant in the room. Have you eaten?
and she's like, I did. I brought my own groceries today, and they show like she's earlier in the dressing room. She's like literally there and like unpacking milk, etc. Ronnie is speechless.
That's
those
what
were
I'm
just
inspired to say. Yeah, I just, keep trying. So Andy's like, okay, good. You got groceries. Hi, Jessel. You look beautiful. Did Prophet help you pick out the nice one? And she's like, absolutely. He said I look like a glorified garbage bag. And I said, well, that's good because I'm married to trash. Am I right?
At least I don't try to find banh mi's at the bottom of one. So,
Say, hi, Bryn. And of course, she's like, hi, Daddy. How are you? We're pudding for Diddy.
How would you describe your look tonight? And she's like,
It's a little sexy pilgrim. Sailor Witch Trials meets OnlyFans.
I did not understand what was going on with Bryn's look. Okay, this to me looked ridiculous. I feel like this is one of the like a bottom 5 reunion dress. I don't care if I'm not a fashion gay. It just looked strangely baggy with a little like doily trim, the lace trim. I don't know. The whole thing looked.
It was very
off.
like child Easter, but like funeral colors. It's like if your grandma died on Easter. Well, I shouldn't say that because your grandma did die. Okay, I didn't mean that. That was an honest mistake. But I mean, like if like someone in your family passes away on Easter and you have to go to a funeral, so you're wearing an Easter dress, but it's also black.
It was just I didn't understand it. Was it like it almost felt like retro, but like I didn't know what she was going for, and it distracted me the entire episode. In fact.
So last but not least, hello, Uba. And she's like, save the best for last, Andy. And he goes, okay, well, how are you, Uba? And she's like, first, I want to say I love each and every one on this stage. It's like, uh-oh.
And they're like, same.
I mean, you were just backstage like, fucking Jenna.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking fake-ass Jenna. She's like, let me open by saying, I love you. Even the fake people who didn't have my back.
But for me, this has been a very, very scary experience because my last job, it was, you take a picture and that's it. And nobody knows your voice. Nobody knows your name. And now I actually have to represent myself. And so it's just nice knowing that I'm going through this with these girls. I'm like, so way to go, Bravo. Casting someone who doesn't know how to express themselves on camera. Great. Love that.
So he's like, so guys, how do you feel about being the new crop of the Real Housewives of New York City? And he's like, you had some big shoes to fill and you did a great job. What's been the reaction from the fans? What's been going on in your own minds? Jenna, let's start with Jenna. And he was like, wait, did you just say we did well? He goes, yeah. So Jenna,
he goes, you did great. You did great. I'm like, okay,
like
Andy, stop
well,
it.
yeah.
Stop it. Okay, enough of this. Like, stop trying to sell us. We've seen the whole season. Yes, some people love it. But honestly, stop trying to sell us like this is the best shit that Bravo's ever put on, because it is not. I'm sorry, it is not.
So Jenna's like, well, everyone is trying to compare us to like the other women, but and they were great, I'm sure. I mean, whoever watched them, I didn't, but I wouldn't recognize them in a lineup. But they're fine, I guess. But we're not trying to be them. We're just trying to be, people who love jeans, and I do. So I love an acid wash, Andy, is what I'm trying to say. So.
Well, I'm glad you're not trying to be us, because you can't. We're icons. We're pop culture, okay? Sorry. So Andy's like,
wow, that's sweet. Okay, so New Yorkers are known as being tough as nails, and Erin is no exception.
Nails.
Okay, Aaron, hold on. This is gonna be a nice thing. Aaron is tough as nails, so tough that when someone took her sunglasses off, she cried and would have called the cops if she could have. So, from taking care of 3 kids to running a business and keeping Abe satisfied and massively gaslighting the entire cast every single episode, there's nothing this homegirl can't do.
Keeping Abe satisfied. I just wow.
There's nothing this homegirl can't do except being interesting on camera. Okay, let's watch.
Just there's nothing this homegirl can't do. Keeping Abe satisfied. It's like, how much cringe are you going to fit into one freaking intro? So then we see the Aaron scenes or whatever. And we come back and he's like, so I heard that you recently moved because the entire world was making fun of Tribeca after you made an ass out of yourself there. So what's up with that?
She's like, I love it. She's like, so you live in like a brownstone? And she's like, yeah. And like, eventually I think we'll make our way. But for now, like, we're in a rental and we're in Uptown. He's like, oh, up and coming. Cool. Did she say why they moved after all that Tribeca? Because to be closer to her family or something?
She said to be closer to her kid's school. I mean, she said that in an interview, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is just, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. It seems weird.
But it's hilarious.
There's more to it. There's more to the story.
Yeah, there's something. There's something. I think
there's a
it's
mistress in
because she doesn't
Tribeca.
like being made fun of.
There's a mistress in Tribeca. I'll say it right now.
Mistresses do not take cabs. We all know that. She's like, I'm gonna move 1 mile north.
She's a regional mistress.
But I love when she goes, so you got a rental uptown? And Andy goes, up and coming. And she says, very up and coming. Like, she literally still just repeats the last thing she goes, very up and coming, Andy.
She's not a parrot, guys. She's not a parrot. So
goes, I mean, what's more happening? And Jessel says, I mean, right now, Tribeca.
Jessel's like, because I made it happening. And he goes, yeah? And I was like, Aaron's like, oh my God, you're joking. She goes, no, it was like the most tweeted thing when I said, oh, is Tribeca up and coming? Therefore, Tribeca was made up and coming by me. Don't you understand?
She's like, I know, but like, seriously, you don't think you made Tribeca happen, right? Like, you didn't, like, you really didn't just say that, right? Okay, humorless fucking Aaron. Is anybody going to explain to Aaron that it was a joke? I mean, these people all just stare at Aaron like, how do you even start? Where do I even start with this person? It was a joke.
Yeah.
Up, lady.
It actually takes Sai of all people to say, it was just a joke. So Aaron's like, well, that's what I was asking. Were you making a joke? And Jess was like, no, I didn't make Tribeca happen. I didn't build Tribeca. But then I'm like, wait, does Jessel actually think she might have made Tribeca happen? Because now she's making it very literal. Like, I didn't build Tribeca. I don't know. So Andy's like, okay, cool. So Tribeca is a place that's established, and Aaron doesn't want to live there anymore. Got it. Okay. So
bottom of the barrel wants to know how homegirl is doing, Aaron. And she's like, homegirl is so good. Like, I have one really big project coming, so I'm super excited about it.
Hey, bottom of the barrel, if this is how you spend your time asking, if you're like, I want to ask a question at the reunion, Aaron, how is homegirl going? Okay, bottom of the barrel, you need to really reconsider like what you find interesting in life, because like
it's bottom of the barrel here. It's Aaron's sister. She's like, please. Aaron is trying to talk. It's very inappropriate.
Yeah, that was clearly. It was, by the way, bottom of the barrel is clearly Aaron here. Like, Aaron's the only one who would write into Andy Cohen and say, hey, how's homegirl going, Aaron?
Literally nobody asked how homegirl is. Okay.
It came up once in the second episode for 1 second as we watched Aaron move like a bin, and never was mentioned ever again. I cannot believe that one person held on to that scene and was like, I would like to know how homegirl is going.
You put the pass in Pasadena wants to know what it's like working for Frederick, possibly the complete opposite of you. I mean, you're both annoying, but that guy at least has personality. Am I right? Go ahead, Aaron. Answer.
He's exactly what you see. He's exactly like what you see on TV. And in fact, I have a permanent bruise on my right side because he keeps accidentally kicking me. It's terrible.
So she says, yeah, he's exactly like you see on TV. And Uba says, we love that, unlike Jenna. What?
I mean, at this moment, I appreciated Uba just attempting to do something here, so I was optimistic. And Andy's like,
So you think Jenna is not as she appears on television? Like, what is different between TV Jenna and real Jenna?
And she says, TV Jenna is poor me and she's a victim. And she just says, I'm old, I'm nah, nah, nah. And the real Jenna is a powerhouse. It's not this old victim. It's like, wow. Wow. So she's faking her insecurity about her genetic disease. I don't know. You know, I keep wanting to root for Uba, but I just, every time it comes time to, I can't.
yeah, so Jenna's
That's
like,
crazy. I mean, if you're going to get Jenna for something, wait and have it be good. But you're coming into someone else's segment and just bringing up a bunch of nothing.
yeah. So Jenna's like, she's like, I don't even know what to think about this. Like, it's a lot of different, it's not different being on camera and like watching you have like, you have vulnerability and like, it's being powerful when we can exist together. And I'm just not in a power situation in this dynamic. I'm just going to keep on talking until Andy just like saves me. Okay, Andy, can you save me? But then Uba's like, but every time someone's yelling or something, you would never you're nowhere to be found. And I don't know, I just feel like you kind of avoid a lot of things.
She's right on that. But so what? Why are you mad at her about that? That has nothing to do with
Says Uba, who had COVID for 4/5 of the season, like quote unquote COVID.
Well,
Uba's missing every other episode.
I mean, you can't help your sickness, right?
No, I'm being facetious. The point is that like she's always out, like, oh, I'm sick, I'm out for this or that. Like Uba, I feel like Uba was missing for so much of the season.
I just feel like if you're going to come at Jenna, and I'm not like an all protector of Jenna, I think that Jenna's a little overrated and everything on this season too. But if you're going to come for Jenna, like if she's different off camera, how? When was she different off camera? When was she like a raging asshole to people? Because I want to know. And by not telling me, you're depriving me. So if something happened, I need you to tell me.
Yeah. So Jenna's like, well, if something happened, I'm excited to like that involves me. Like I'm not. If something happens that doesn't involve me, I'm not going to weigh in on something that doesn't involve me. And Uba's like, yeah, but you're excited, like, you're excited
making
making
an opinion. She's like, you're very excited making an opinion when it's about people when you're not in the scene. Like you have no problem giving your opinion because Uba's pissed because Jenna she took Aaron's side basically during the sunglasses snatch and stuff, right?
So Andy's like,
Okay, we'll get to that. Hey, Aaron, Can from Opener says, hey, watching the show, it seems like you're the matriarch of your family. How often do people in your family come to you with their problems? And how many other people are out of town that they had to come to you with those problems?
So she starts crying. She's like, that makes me emotional. And he's like, why are you crying? And she's like, I had a rough summer. So then we find out that her mom had some health issues and like, it's all on me. You know what I mean? Like, it's always all on me. And so that's kind of, that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. That's mediocrely sad.
That gets a sick son sadness, sick mom, and it's all on Erin. And then she starts talking about how, like her dad is a single father of 4. I don't know what she's like. I'm the oldest, and my dad's a single father of 4, which is a funny thing to say, as if like they're all like 8 years old. Like he's a single father trying to make ends meet. It's like he's got adult children and he's unmarried at the moment. So then she starts going on. This is our first official sob story of the episode, and talking about like how her dad got remarried 3.5 years after like the mom. I don't know. It was like actually such a long, uninteresting yarn about her childhood, architecture.
Yeah, basically that her parents got divorced, and so he became a single father, and it was up to her to raise all of the kids, right? And so she's like, yeah, I was like basically the mom. And so then her dad went to Israel to work, and so she would be left there to raise the kids and all this stuff. And I don't take any of that away from her. I just, it's Aaron. So I'm like,
Yeah, I was like, okay.
It's like the dial tone when the phone has just been hung up on the other end.
Yeah.
And it was me. It was me who hung up. Hung it up. Sorry. Good luck. Good luck to you.
Yeah, it was very much like the Aaron weighing in with the standard. Yeah, I had to step in as like a parent figure. I had to grow up. I had to grow up a lot faster than everyone else. So it was like one moment I'm 3 years old, coloring books with Brad and Gwyneth. And another moment I'm 8 years old, buying booze.
My mom sold Lincoln Center. Before you know it, my brothers are all trying to do meth under the house. But I felt a little watching this like, A, it's not cool to make fun of someone's sob story, right? But B, she was on Jessel about how her sob story was just trying to compete with everyone else's sob story. And I feel like Erin came to this like, I didn't have a sob story this year.
Yeah.
Here's my sob story. And so she's trying to like pull a sob story on me, and I'm not having her sob story. Sorry.
And I love the way
Invalidated.
that Andy transitions out of a sob story because she's like, so like this summer it just was like hard because it was like my mother and it was just like all me, right? And like it's just always stressful when you have to like start taking care of parents. And Andy goes, okay, I want to move on to something else.
He's like, so Bossy from Bottom wants to know if Abe wants to take it up the butt.
Yeah, it
Be a
literally was like,
swinger.
would you guys consider swinging? She's like, yeah, so it's just sad. Parents are getting older. I don't have much time left, and I'm taking care of my mother. Roles are reversed. I'm never. Okay, do you want to swing? Do you and your husband want to swing?
It's just really hard having to raise all of my brothers. Just wondering, will my parents ever speak to me again? Does Abe like fingers in his butt or not?
Pegging. Have you considered pegging? You know, there's no shame in the consensual monogamy. Oh, wait, non-consensual monogamy.
And she's like swinging. We like to play around, like we talk about sex with friends, but we would not swing, Andy. And so I was like, I don't know about that. That night at dinner seemed like you guys were recruiting. I mean, no one's ever said something more romantic to me than, would you like an appetizer? So might as well have just made out with me right then and there.
Yeah, it seemed like, you were recruiting. Okay, well, not interested. Okay, here, this is actually a question from Not Interested, from Anything Size Says, wants to know how much you spent on your 10th anniversary versus how much was covered by sponsors.
Oh my God, covered by sponsors. Okay, like, I get it. Like, a lot of these brands were really small, and so they asked me if they could put their name on the invite, and like, I didn't care. It didn't bother me. Oh, really? All those brands just happened to ask if they could be put on the invite? No, this is the thing. Like, just tell the truth. Like, she never just tells the truth. You wanted to get a bunch of free shit. You were finally a housewife. You got a bunch of free shit, and you're not apologizing to anybody. That's the answer. That's the answer. Not, well, they asked me, and they're just small businesses. So you know what? I support small business. You're a fucking liar. Just say the truth about one thing.
Are you saying that Aaron and Abe are not a small business incubator? Is that what you're saying?
Homegirl.
Homegirl. Hey, thanks for asking about Homegirl. So then,
So Hassan's like, but you would totally still do it. You'd still do it again.
and Aaron's like, what? Like, put the names on? And
Yeah, put their names on. Like, you don't care. It was just sponsored. Like, who cares? Like,
and Aaron's like, I don't know. It was like a lot of names. And
Hassan's like, well, it is what it is.
I don't even know why I'm saying these words, Ronnie. I don't know why I'm detailing this part of the conversation. Literally
Friend's
nothing.
like, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being sponsored. It's just funny because it's like this wedding event, and then at the bottom, it's like sponsored by Chase.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
So, basically, Erin takes ownership, kind of. And she's like, I was just trying to help the little person. Sorry.
I mean,
I was trying to help small businesses, guys.
I spent a lot of money on food. I mean, that's the most amount of money that I spent was on the food budget.
And he's like, food. Hey, Si, was it worth the money? And so honestly, you need a refund. You need a refund for that food. Okay. Hey, what's the deal? By the way, Erectile from Dysfunction wants to know, Aaron, what's the deal with you not serving food? I mean, why do you continue to serve appetizers to hungry people? Have you heard of means? Come on now.
Oh my God. Appetizers to hungry people. It was a cocktail party.
Okay,
why are you
Aaron.
bragging about spending so much money on food? Like, you can't have it both ways, okay? You had fakes in a blanket. That's all anybody saw.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, "Come on, defend your hostessing." So she goes, "Well, I am going to defend my hostessing. I'm going to because I hostess all the time. Like we are Jewish. We center everything around food. Unfortunately, sometimes that food is invisible and not able to be eaten, but that's still food that's there."
And Andy's like, that is true. Jews love an osh.
I want someone to be like, "Hello. I just want to say I am from a culture of Northern Europe and we hate to eat.
We hate food.
We hate food. We gather around. We do not gather around the dinner table. We gather around the floor and stare at the nothing on there that you can eat."
You know, being from Lebanon, we just, the family likes to gather around a handicap spot in a Home Goods and just really hash everything out. That's how we come together.
Yeah, Jews love a nosh, says Andy. What is true, but I think I'm sure every other culture would probably say the same thing. So then Aaron's like, "Yeah, we always have food. Like at my anniversary party, I thought it was like, more of a cocktail vibe, like I was saying." And then Seth's like, "Well, it's 7:00. Well, and Andy's like, "Yeah, I mean, and 8 is dinner time. At least when you've got kids, like I do. I'm a dad."
I'm a dad. So if you invite people to a party at 8, that means there's going to be food. And they're like, yeah. And she goes, but there was food. So, there's Aaron running in circles as usual. So Andy's like, so Pavitt wrote on Instagram. And then we see him showing his sandwich on Instagram. And he says, I was starving. Aaron needs to consult me for the next one. What is your reaction to Pavitt posting on Instagram about you?
And Bryn's like,
Pavitt, he's like the 7th housewife, and I would totally do him/her.
Mm-hmm. He's the 7th housewife because you guys have all made it your business to get all up into his business. So then eventually he starts reacting because he hears that everyone's saying stuff about him. So he starts to react. I don't know.
So the next question is, Aaron, you recently went on a podcast and said the following about Sai. You said, I thought we got along, but all she does is talk about me in her confessionals, and it really bothered me that she made fun of my shakshuka. Oh my God, that is such. Who's inviting Aaron? Listen, I know that the annoyance with one character gets old. I know it does with me. It happens so many seasons. I can't help it. I don't know what to say. Like, who is asking Aaron to complaints about shakshuka? Stop.
It's probably bottom from the barrels podcast. Tell me about Homegirl, really, and then share. How did you feel about your shakshuka? Did it get enough respect?
I was really mad she didn't respect my shakshuka, bottom from the barrel.
So I was like, I didn't make fun of it. I just had no idea what it was. So Andy's like, okay, cool. Well, Tutu from 7 says, how was watching the show change your view on the friendship?
And Aaron's like, honestly, I have no idea what happened to Sai. Something switched. And Sai's like, me? She's like, yeah, something switched. Which, by the way, I don't believe this. I feel like they're trying to have I think they both realize that they're not fan favorites, and so now it's gonna be crabs in a bucket trying to pull each other down. So that way, they're trying to disassociate from each other, so that way they don't get each other stink on each other.
Right. So only one of them gets completely obliterated in the comments, and not both. So Sai's like, something happened to me. You lied. That's what's going on. And you didn't own your shit, Aaron. You didn't own your shit. And she's like, here we go. Didn't own my shit. Oh, another liar in the group. Oh, God, of course I'm a liar. Go on. Of course. It's all my fault.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a here we go. I mean, who's a liar? You're the one who lied. Clearly, you said something on a podcast, and you're not going to admit it.
And Aaron's like, yeah, I mean, I can't even answer right now. She doesn't even let me talk. So
no, you don't get to talk.
I guess it's my fault.
You told, it is your fault. Because you told Bryn this lie that was a complete lie, and I never came to your house, and I never said that thing about the cheese ever. I never said that thing about the cheese. In fact, if there's anyone who went into the cheese, I was the one who was eating all the cheese. I was the one who loved the cheese. Did you not see I brought milk backstage? Guess what? Guess we make cheese out of milk. So I basically brought cheese backstage, and if you don't respect my milk, you don't respect my cheese, you don't respect me, and I don't know how to respect you.
Guess I lied about it. So frustrating. So then she has a clip of this podcast, and she whips it out and plays it. And what was it? It's like,
So
I don't even know what the clip was, but it was
the clip was basically Erin saying, so before we started filming, I hosted something for all the girls. And like Sai was like, oh, so we're having all this cheese? And like, this one's always hungry.
Oh, she
this
said,
one's always
all we're
hungry.
having is cheese, right? She said, oh, really? So all we're having is cheese?
And I was like, yeah. So then Sai's like,
I didn't say that, Erin. I never came to your house. I never said that once.
Can I talk?
No,
Can I talk?
I'm talking. No, I'm talking. No, I'm talking. Okay, because I never came to your house and I never said that. Never. Uber was there. Jessa was there. There was a little mouse that was walking around. I don't know. That was strange. I know. I bought you a nice little bottle of champagne, and we were there. Well, I didn't buy you. I was gifted it, and I re-gifted it to you because hashtag sponsored. But like, we were there to have a good time, and I was the only person eating the cheese actually. So stop insinuating the story that I'm a rude person who came to your house and complained because I never did that, just not once.
And she's like, but that's not what I said. And Andy goes, well, she said that you said all you're having is cheese. And Erin goes, yeah. So she called me and she's like, so should I eat dinner before or are you serving dinner? And I said, no, we're going to do wine and cheese. And he's like, so did she come to your house and say all there is cheese? And she goes, well, I mean, no, she didn't say it like that. So I might, okay, so you lie. You fucking lie every time.
you said it on the podcast. And so I was like, so why'd you say it on the podcast? And Erin's like, I didn't say it as accurately as what happened. I meant it like more proverbially. Like you were like, oh, we're having this cheese. Like that's all I really meant. What the fuck does that mean?
Doesn't make any sense.
There is no proverbial, oh, we're having this cheese. There is no proverbial of that. I'll just say that.
I know, like, I'm being so moral. Like, you lie. All you do is lie. You know what's the problem? It's not that it's a lie. I love a lie. I love when a lie plays out and you have to figure out it's a lie. I mean, Bravo was built on lies. But this is just such a boring lie. A cheese lie? As somebody complained about cheese lie? Come on.
And this could, honestly, you could even do a good cheese lie. Like a cheese lie could really work, but this is just the worst version of it. And it's like the worst, like, when she's caught, she doesn't even have a fun way. Like, who's really good about doing this? Okay. I shudder to mention her name, but Leanne Locken, because Leanne Locken would get caught in these stupid lies all the time. And you know what she would do on the reunion? She'd be like, I guess, it just makes me think of when I was in the carnival and my mama would hide the cheese from me. And it brings me back so much PTSD that I didn't know what to say and I locked up because I just wanted people to love me. Like that is how
it was like having to sneak into a 7-Eleven and steal a block of cheese.
That's how you lie on the lie,
Yeah. So they're like, why are we talking about cheese? Jess was like, oh my God, so much focus on cheese. And Jess was like, Uba says, yeah, how about you guys focus on why you didn't want Jenna on the show? And they're like, what? And Jenna goes, wait, what? Who? What? And Uba goes, the three of them. Saying, who is she saying? Not Bryn, right? She's saying,
I think she's saying
Sai and Jessel, right?
Yeah. I think it was Aaron, Jenna, and no, you're right, because Jenna was the one who was. Yeah, I'm not sure. This is all a little unclear, and so everyone's
like,
confused.
Sai goes, I didn't want I didn't want Jenna on the show, and she goes, yes, you all said it, and she's like, what are you even talking about? And then Aaron and Sai kind of laugh awkwardly together, and Andy says, well, that's a side bomb, and then they just ignore it. And
yeah,
Andy lets it go. He doesn't ask who said it, when they said it, why they said it. We literally go back to talking about cheese. This is the first major fail of this reunion, I have to say. What the fuck?
It was a side bomb.
Given, and we're talking about cheese.
Uba was trying to, yeah, exactly. And I don't know how Andy didn't at least try, tease out some more questions, which has me believing that Andy does not like Uba very much. I think he kind of let her just look like an idiot because she says this crazy thing, and then he's like, that was a side bomb. Like, he's like, that's crazy, you're a crazy person, so he's like, okay, back to the cheese, let's get more deeper into this. So Aaron's like, well, anyway, I misspoke and I should have just said it more accurately, or maybe I should have cackled it like a hag cackling hags. So Sai's like, it was nice that you invited us and it was nice that you gave us cheese, and then for you to insinuate that I would say something like that.
I didn't mean to upset you. I was like,
it's a lie, Aaron. I mean, how could you not think a lie wouldn't upset me?
And she's like, oh, and Andy says, so you're saying you misspoke? And she's like, misspoke. Sure. Okay. I don't think it's that deep. I actually said, if you listen to the podcast, a lovely thing about you right after I said, I actually really love Sai. She's a close friend of mine. And Sai's like, I didn't even hear that.
Because the full quote was like, I actually really love Sai, which is why I was so upset that she was making fun of my cheese. Why would you do that? That's probably what it was.
And they're fighting about the minutia of this cheese, when the fact is you were having people over at dinner time and you were not serving them food. I mean, it's like you still lose in this argument. You can try and change the wording of whatever was said to whoever, but you're complaining about somebody else complaining that you don't have food when you invited everybody over at dinner time. Wrong again, ma'am.
Wrong again.
All right, well, Teenage Mutant from Ninja Turtles says, on the show you said, Aaron, that you're direct and can't be fake, but some women have called you out for being rude. What's the difference between being direct and being rude?
So Aaron's like, well, I think that like sometimes I can come off a little rude and crass, and maybe it's like something I should work on. Yeah, I think that would be a great idea. Just interesting. I still feel like work on interesting, and then you can work on not being rude.
There's a reason Below Deck does not do reunions, besides the fact that Andy doesn't watch them and doesn't care, probably. But they've kind of slowed down on the reunions, or when they do them on Watch What Happens Live instead of giving them a real reunion. And our theory has always been the reason they don't is because everyone has to keep a job. Like everyone looks at it like, we need this job because there's a job beyond this show, right? They all work in the industry. And so once they show up to the reunion and they're confronted, their immediate response is, you're right. I'm sorry. And that's kind of this reunion, right? Everything they bring up, they're like, yeah, you guys are right. I should work on that.
Yeah. The whole reunion is like that. So then Uba's like, I don't think Erin's rude. I think she's polite. I think she's elegant. And I think she's nice. I think she's a shit stirrer. And I was like,
start shit. Yeah, I'm a shit stirrer.
She's a gaslight. That's what she is. She's a gaslighter.
Yeah, I'm a gaslighter, right?
Yeah, she gaslights. She gaslights. She's a gaslight. And he's like, okay, so you're not rude, but you start shit and you gaslight. Got it.
She's like, very nice. Very nice. So Andy's like, let's leave it there. Okay, this is the second time Uba's tried something, and Andy's like, no, we're not going to do that. Yeah. I would like to talk about cheese, and now we're going to talk about Jenna Lyons and show a Jenna Lyons segment. You're just pissing a lot away, is all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So now we get Jenna Lyons being a housewife wasn't on their bingo card. What?
Yeah, we learned that like a great pair of lashes, there's more to her than meets the eye. Let's take a look.
So we get the Jenna segment of her doing all the things. And Andy's like, wow, it's so wild. Given your public persona that you grew up feeling unattractive and unseen, did you ever think you'd be on Bravo, where people would savage the way you look at every instance across the internet? And here on this reunion, wow.
Also, just a general question of, wow, someone who didn't feel attractive went into fashion behind the scenes? That is crazy.
So then Jenna starts talking about how she decided to go into fashion because she didn't feel, like she didn't feel good. And when, and then when she started trying on, when she found clothing, she felt better in her own skin. And it was powerful and it got her over lots of things and the ugly duckling thing and everything. And it was just like a very incredible experience for her, fashion.
And then we enter the mom segment. So Jenna is talking about her mom and like how it was so detached because of her mom's mental disability and stuff. So it was really hard to connect emotionally and stuff like that. And she really was helped by Uba's healing session where the lady told her, tell your 7-year-old self that it's okay, And so they do all that. And then Jenna is like, Jessel says, I thought she was going to have this hard exterior, but she, really went through the emotions this season, Andy. She really went through the emotions.
Just like Parfit when he found out his favorite halal stand had closed down. Really, so many emotions. So
just like the first time Parvit went to a restaurant and someone asked him if he'd like his banh mi as a wrap. Never seen a grown man cry like that, Andy. Very sad times.
So then, they're just like, they're just saying that Jenna's brave, and she starts talking about how she was on autopilot, and when she was just talking about the childhood shit and being at the healer, and it goes on. Honestly, it goes on for so long. It's very moving and very sad, and it goes on for a very, very long time. And she talks about how now Jenna, when she hugs her son, she hugs him because she didn't get that. And it's actually very healing for her. And so she likes to say, I'm so proud of you and this and that because she never got it. So please enter into the discussion.
Bryn, here comes Bryn. So Bryn comes and she's like, yeah, I'm going to, she goes through her stuff basically. Like, when I have kids, I'm going to love them so much because I didn't get that. And so now she starts crying. And then, let's see, who else starts crying? Someone else.
Well, then
Andy's.
Andy's.
So then Uba starts crying about her mom. And this is all real, very sad stuff. I do not respond to this. I have a very tough exterior. Once I do start crying, it never ends. I start sobbing. I start cursing everybody I've ever known. I will stop traffic. My whole face swells up. My eyes swell closed. Snot comes down my nose. And so I tend to avoid emotion. And that's what I do during this. I mean, during this, we had to take notes, obviously. So I did not fast forward, but I literally was doing this with my hand. Like, I was pressing the F in my mind. I was mentally fast forwarding.
I was like, please take me back to the ER. I'd like to do the appendix thing again. I was like, God, remember
something in me, please.
Remember when I had appendicitis? That was so much more entertaining.
Oh god.
I do like moments when, believe it or not, as cynical as I sound, I do like moments when people share and they have these emotional moments. But it just was going on and on and on, and then this one jumps in, and then that one jumps in, and it felt like it was like, and now entering from the Upper East Side, Uba. So Uba comes in and everyone comes in, and it's just like, it was beautiful, but it just kept on going and going and going.
That's how this season is. They each go through a trauma, and then the next one goes through their trauma, and then the next one, because that's their thing. It's the trauma, like that's our main comment probably in this whole season is the trauma. So now we're seeing like the rehash of the trauma, and it's like, okay, let's all come together and group number.
Exactly. And there was a time when the purpose of the reunion was, hey, remember when so and so said that about you earlier in the season? What do you think now that you've watched the season? What do you think? But lately, like, there's been this sense of like that the reunion is a group therapy, and like we're coming together to hash it out and to heal and to grow and to mend. And it's like, that's fine, because you do have to set up the next season, but also like it doesn't have to be literal group therapy. So like this stuff is interesting, but like I tune into the reunion to find out like the goss about the season, and this is more just like, okay, interesting insight, lovely. You could even say it's beautiful, but also for me, boring.
I just think that trauma can, shape who you are, but what you do defines who you are. You know what I mean? And I would just wish we'd all stop defining ourselves by trauma. Okay, it doesn't define you. So they talk about I think it's also the times that we live in and the times that I'm from, where I'm like, fuck that, I'm like Gen X. I'm like, we don't cry. But whatever it is, now it's Sai's turn. So she comes around the corner talking about her stuff.
Wait. Before Sai even comes in, I also liked how Andy just like trying to squeeze a little more juice from the lemon. Is like, Jenna, is your father still alive? I was like, you got to be kidding me, Andy. I mean, he's alive. The guy's alive. But to me, it was like, oh, you just want to whip this all up again. Now let's do the father. I was like, oh my God. I can't.
Yes, and her answer to anyone who's wondering is that yes, he is, but he started over with a new family and just kind of forgot about them, and it was really painful. So it was like another layer on top of that.
Right, and then he's asking Uba, and then he's like, oh, did you get like a lot of Uba and Bryn? I know you're trying to move on to the side, but like he's asking Uba and Bryn like, oh, did you get a lot of response from viewers? And then Bryn's saying, oh, I had a huge response, and Uba's like, I had a huge response, maybe not as large as Bryn's. And Bryn's like, it doesn't matter because you did have a big response, and that it's like, oh my God, that's like, I was like, I'm happy for you all, but. Let's go.
So
now
basically Sai is saying, I overcame so much in my life that I have this coping mechanism, and that's where a lot of this stuff comes, and I mask it with humor, and I'm like, wow, can we get a montage of Sai being hilarious on the show? Because I have taken notes on every single episode and don't remember it.
Sai is the one who showed up in The Masked Singer with her face right there. Your mask isn't working. Yeah, so she's like, yeah, it's a coping mechanism. I've had to overcome so much in my life. I'm broken on the inside. I hate talking about this so much. Anyway, So my mother. Let me tell you another story about my mother.
So then we go to kind of talking about Jenna, right? So we've just had this very cry-y, sensitive moment, and Andy's saying, well, Jenna, back to Jenna, I think I'm very impressed, considering where you've come from, all this emotional relationships that you've had and you've come this far, you're a success. And then you overcame rough odds. And Jenna's like, basically Sai's like, listen, you don't celebrate your wins. You're very hard on yourself. You don't celebrate your wins. And Uba's like, yeah, that's all I meant to Jenna earlier when I was saying things. Jenna, all I'm saying is that Jenna puts herself down so much. Like, that's not what you were saying. You were saying she's a fake ass. So go back to that.
Yeah, go back to that. And Sai's like, yeah, you don't celebrate your wins enough. You need to celebrate your wins so we can tear you down. There's no fun in tearing down someone who tears themselves down first. It just doesn't work for me.
That kind of is it, don't you think? That's kind of their annoyance.
Yeah.
Because she won't engage in this. And I do that. I have a lot of self-deprecating stuff just because you learn. Like, if people are going to give you shit, it's like, I'm going to make jokes about myself so they can't come get you. So
you know what? She puts it down. She puts herself down to a point so much that I just want to shake her. I get so upset. Oh, by the way, I actually could go for a shake. Could someone get me a shake? I'm starving over here. I just get so upset with you, because I just want to shake you. And you've accomplished so much, and you've done some such amazing things. You've done so much. You are an icon, which is why I will never accept another gift from you. That's disgusting. Why are you trying to give me gifts?
This is the end of part 1 of a 2-part recap. Come back later for part 2. We love you guys.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Strolling the park with Caitlin Clark.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Erin McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary. It's the Green Fairy.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's always supplying. It's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg. Ruru LaRue.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. We want to hang with Liz Lang. The incredible edible Matthews sisters. Nancy Cease and Desisto.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She's quite the catch. It's Victoria Cotchett.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at